Here it is. Found it. And this, my friends, is the Unreal Engine 5. An early access demo. I haven't gotten to watch this video yet. But every year that we get like a new generation of games, I usually end up saying things like, oh man, how much better can the graphics get? How much better can they get? How much better can they get? And well, I guess this is going to be a look into how much better they can get. Systems are still trying to catch up because you see the things that we can do with like CGI. Look at any of the Marvel films. Our computers just can't play that at like high FPS or whatever, but we still see very big leaps in like the way graphics look. We've seen the biggest leaps were, you know, some like 2D to 3D. And then now we've seen, you know, improvements on the 3D. But you guys remember what it was like to play a PlayStation game and then booting up like a PS2 or an Xbox? Like, oh shit, these graphics are that much better. You know what I mean? I still, the last time that I booted up a console, which has been a long time, even then I was like, wow, these graphics are definitely better than the last, you know, generation of games.
Demo, Lumen in the land of nanite. Since then, the Engine team has been working hard on preparing the tools and technology for creators around the world to get their hands on so that they can explore the new features and provide us with feedback.
Now, just a few months ago, we assembled a small team of developers to see what they could build using these new features.
Nobody wants to hear this
the
intro. They just want to see the graphics.
Sample project
I want them to know
Valley
this
of the Ancient.
somehow.
And today, when setting out to make our demo, we wanted to push the boundaries of what's possible with UE5 today, while targeting next-gen hardware specifications. Here are sequences running in real time on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X.
Okay. Pretty cool, but rocks fire. Probably took a lot of work to do
welcome
this,
to
right?
the brand new UI in Unreal Engine 5. While a lot of the same
Wait, this is actually in the engine. So this is like a an update to the engine, but also for developers. Okay, I feel like this is where we're going to see some crazy stuff.
features and functionality that you've come to know in UE4 are still present in the new UI, we've added several new systems that put you at the center of the experience. For example, the content browser can now be accessed like a drawer using hotkeys, allowing you to keep a clean workspace while still having access to all the content that you need. We can also collapse and restore editor tabs to and from the sidebar, maximizing the viewport experience. And you're going to see a lot more of the UI as we get further into this presentation, but we can't wait for you to get your hands on it.
And that's while it's animating
Now,
in real
one of the
time
main
in the
features
back
of
as
Unreal
well.
Engine 5 is Nanite, our virtualized micropolygon geometry system that frees artists to create as much geometric detail as the eye can see. Virtualized geometry supports orders of magnitude more triangles without compromising speed, and replaces the traditional system of mesh LODs, handling all detail transitions seamlessly without any additional setup. In other words, Nanite lets the artist create while the engine does the work. Switching to this Nanite visualization, you can see individual triangles rendered out as different colors here in the viewport. And because the geometry is now virtualized, you can feel free to place assets like these all throughout your scene to fill out a massive player space. Using this debug view, you can see individual instances represented by different colors from swatch to swatch.
Wow.
Each instance in this environment contains around 1 to 2 million triangles, providing enough detail for the camera to roam with complete creative freedom.
But this is mostly meant for devs. But the things that they're talking about right now is mostly meant for developers. Because, yeah, they're showing me that there's a lot of pixels on this screen. But as a consumer, more than ever being a developer, this is just nonsense.
The new Sky Atmosphere system, it is incredibly simple to quickly simulate realistic time of day, carefully art direct volumetric clouds, and make modifications to things like atmospherics, sun position, and fog. And for this example, we wanted a fully dynamic scene, no light baking, and realistic interpolation between the different times of day. Of course, when in development, having access to high-quality content that's easy to use helps you iterate quickly, and saves lots of time that can be better spent elsewhere on your project. With Quixel now being a part of the Epic Games family, we've made the full Megascans library free and open for all Unreal Engine users. Bridge, our online browser.
Wow, they opened up the library of just 3D assets that they have to everyone, or I guess to anyone who owns the Unreal Engine. Now, I can already think of a game that could probably use these features from Unreal 5. You know, PUBG. Floating trees. Why are they still in the game? 4 years later. I'm not a developer, and I can already see why you would want something like this.
For Megascans assets has historically functioned as a standalone application for quickly exporting assets in bulk directly into the engine, albeit separate from Unreal. Today, we're happy to announce that Bridge is now natively integrated directly into the engine UI. Now you can simply drag and drop assets directly into your scene for a more intuitive and connected experience.
It feels like they're making
simply
it
logging
easier,
in with your
right?
Epic ID gives you immediate access to thousands of assets to use for free in your Unreal Engine projects.
Wow.
We are constantly looking to enhance the value of the Megascans library. And today we're excited to announce that we're adding a brand new asset type called Mega Assemblies. Mega Assemblies are the natural next step for us in removing even more barriers for artists in crafting their worlds. By combining existing assets from the Megascans library, our artists are pre-assembling elements that can be quickly accessed and leveraged to populate your scenes.
And I'm sure they're fully editable
Using the
as
Moab
well.
set, let's add an assembly to our scene.
It makes me feel like I could just do this. I know that I can't, but but maybe I can. It's like that they're making it look so easy.
Team can easily work without asset contention, while also avoiding painful merge conflicts. A new system called World Partition makes traditional world-building workflows obsolete by changing the way that we think about map files. Rather than requiring artists to build out map content as a series of streaming levels, World Partition allows teams to think of a single map as one large world that gets broken down automatically into many smaller, streamable cells on a grid. These cells can be selectively loaded or unloaded in the editor to save on edit time resources, allowing artists to only load up the sections of the map that they need.
Basically, they're saying that game developers have zero excuses. Because this shit looks beautiful.
On top of that, changes to actors in a World Partition map are tracked at the actor level, not at the map level. This one file per actor approach empowers different team members to work on different actors in the same map without having to worry about their changes getting clobbered in a merge or having to revert to get someone else's edits. Now, this approach means you could have
multiple people on one map. I think that he's about to continue explaining it, so everyone can be editing one map all at the same time. In real time.
At runtime, we can swap between these two modes, streaming thousands of actors in and out, and enter into the dark world. Let's see this in action as we go back to Chant.
They can go back and forth with their character, like in the game. This is all in the engine. That's all we're looking
Thanks,
at.
Galen.
This is
Many
all going on
runtime
in
and
the
interactive
engine.
frameworks in Unreal Engine are getting significant updates in UE5. One thing we've added for animation is an experimental new full-body IK solver, which is designed to give you better results with less work. Here, you can see it in action as the rig for our player character, Echo, corrects itself to adjust for variations on the ground below her. It's deterministic, reliable, and around 10 times faster than before. To build and maintain more scalable gameplay systems, we've also added a new framework called Game Feature Plugins that will allow you to build and ship game content in a more modular way. With Game Feature Plugins, numerous core gameplay features can be built in parallel with better encapsulation and finer content organization. Game Feature Plugins allow developers to add activation instructions to extend base game functionality, register new input actions for players, and interface with other frameworks such as animation.
This is how they add skills to your character in game. This is gonna sound really silly, but you know what this reminds me of is actually RPG Maker, just the RPG Maker series of game engines. I don't know if that's what you would call them. That's pretty cool. To me, it makes it feel even more accessible because, like, you pretty much understand what each of these things do just by, just looking at it. As a dude that does not do this, I can tell what these things do.
When we shifted into the Dark World, we also activated a new game feature to give Echo a brand new attack ability. All of the assets and logic needed for the ability, including new animations, input controls, blueprint code, VFX, and audio, are contained inside this plugin, and core game classes have no idea that these assets exist until we activate it. We've also added a feature called Animation Motion Warping, which allows you to manipulate root motion animations to adapt them to the world. Echo's vault animation was authored to the specific dimensions of this rubble. Leveraging motion warping, we were able to add notify states in the vault animation asset that can react to transform data passed in via blueprints. This allowed us to reuse the same animation to vault over other assets of different dimensions, like these pieces of debris, by sending information about their size into the motion warping system. Before
really
triggering the vaulting animation, a blueprint script
easy.
determines her rotation, how high up she jumps, how far she needs to move to get to the other side, and where her feet should land. Motion warping then adapts the root motion of the vault animation to match this data. Also, for the Rift Interact animation, we used motion warping to place Echo in the perfect position in order to ensure her hand would always touch the rift. So on the topic of animation, Unreal Engine 5 also includes our in-editor rigging tool, Control Rig.
Holy shit. That looks really good.
Meet the Ancient, a film-quality creature imagined and built by our friends at the Aaron Sims Creative Company. We partnered with Aaron Sims and his group of talented artists to concept the Dark World and to bring it to life through an enormous mythical adversary. Now, every single animation for the Ancient was authored wholly in Engine by the Aaron Sims creative team using Control Rig and Sequencer, our linear cinematic animation tool. Also, just to push the boundaries a bit, they even built it out of a collection of nanite meshes totaling over 50 million triangles attached directly to the skeleton. Control Rig was designed to keep artists close to their creations without having to bounce back and forth between software packages, allowing them to quickly iterate, all inside Unreal. While imagining the battle between Echo and the Ancient, we wanted to give the creature a heavy laser attack that Echo would have to avoid. We needed it to track Echo's location in the arena and fire a slow, sweeping blast towards her.
This all looks so good.
Alright, let's take down the Ancient.
Obviously, this all done in the engine.
We've got a series of deep dive conversations on these topics lined up for Inside Unreal, our official weekly live stream, where you can hear from the engine dev team and ask your questions.
Wow, the Unreal Engine 5 looks crazy. I can't wait to see. They released it on this day, so I can't wait to see what kind of projects are gonna come out of this. It looks crazy. It looks insane.